Morning, students. I'm Jyotsna Dethe from Pioneer Public School. Today, we are going to start with English Literature, chapter number 1, The Hero. In this lesson, we will come to know story of a village boy named Swami, his father's expectations about him, and how this small timid child turns out to be a brave young boy. So we are going to start Unit 1, School Years. Chapter number 1, The Hero. This story is written by R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan was best known for his works set in the fictional South Indian town of Malgudi. He is one of the leading figures of early Indian literature in English. Now, at the beginning of the story, we come to know that Swami's father is reading a newspaper. After reading newspaper article, his view about Swami changed. So now let us read a passage from the textbook. For Swami, events took an unexpected turn. Father looked over the newspaper. He was reading under the hall lamp and said, Swami, listen to this. News is to hand of the bravery of a village lad who, while returning home by the jungle path, came face to face with a tiger. The paragraph described the fight the boy had with the tiger and his flight up a tree where he stayed for half a day till some people came that way and saved him. After reading it through, father looked at Swami fixedly and asked, What do you say to that? Swami said, I think he must have been a very strong and grown up person, not at all a boy. How could a boy fight a tiger? You think you are wiser than the newspaper. Father sneered. A man may have the strength of an elephant and yet be a coward, whereas another may have the strength of a straw, but if he has courage, he can do anything. Courage is everything. Strength and age are not important. Swami disputed the theory. How can it be, father? Suppose I have all the courage. What can I do if a tiger should attack me? Leave alone strength. Can you prove you have courage? Let me see if you can sleep alone tonight in my office room. Now, to know afterwards what happens, let's watch a video.
Swami's father sat gloomily, gazing at the newspaper on his lap. Swami rose silently and tiptoed away to his bed in the passage. Granny was sitting up in her bed and remarked, Boy, are you already feeling sleepy? Don't you want a story? Swami made wild gesticulations to silence his granny, but that good lady saw nothing. So, Swami threw himself on his bed and pulled the blanket over his face. Granny said, Don't cover your face. Are you really very sleepy? Swami leant over and whispered, Please keep quiet, Granny. Don't talk to me. And don't let anyone call me, even if the house is on fire. If I don't sleep at once, I shall perhaps die. He turned over, curled, and snored under the blanket till he found his blanket pulled away. Presently, father came and stood over him. Swami, get up, he said. He looked like an apparition in the semi darkness of the passage, which was lit by the cone of light from the hall. Swami stirred and groaned as if in sleep. Father said, Get up, Swami. Granny bleated, Why do you disturb him? Get up, Swami, he said for the fourth time, and Swami got up. Father rolled up his bed, took it under his arm, and said, Come with me. Swami looked at his granny, hesitated for a moment, and followed his father into the office room. On the way, he threw a look of appeal at his mother, and she said, Why do you take him to the office room? He can sleep in the hall, I think. I don't think so, father said, and Swami slunk behind him with bowed head. Let me sleep in the hall, father, Swami pleaded. Your office room is very dusty, and there may be scorpions behind your law books. There are no scorpions, little fellow. Sleep on the bench if you like. Can I have a lamp burning in the room? No. You must learn not to be afraid of darkness. It is only a question of habit. You must cultivate good habits. Will you at least leave the door open? All right, but promise you will not roll up your bed and go to your granny's side at night. If you do it, mind you, I will make you the laughing stock of your school. Swami felt cut off from humanity. He was pained and angry. He didn't like the strain of cruelty he saw in his father's nature. He hated the newspaper for printing the tiger story. He wished that the tiger hadn't spared the boy, who didn't appear to be a boy after all, but a monster. As the night advanced and the silence in the house deepened, his heart beat faster. He remembered all the stories of devils and ghosts he had heard in all his life. How often had his chum Money seen the devil in the banyan tree at his street end? And what about poor Munisami's father, who spat out blood because the devil near the river's edge slapped his cheek when he was returning home late one night? And so, on and on his thoughts continued. He was faint with fear. A ray of light from the street strayed in and cast shadows on the wall. Through the stillness, all kinds of noises reached his ears. The ticking of the clock, rustle of trees, snoring sounds, and some vague night insects humming. He covered himself so completely that he could hardly breathe. Every moment he expected the devils to come up to carry him away. There was the instance of his old friend in the fourth class who suddenly disappeared and was said to have been carried off by a ghost to Siam or Nepal. Swami hurriedly got up and spread his bed under the bench and crouched there. It seemed to be a much safer place, more compact and reassuring. He shut his eyes tight and encased himself in the blanket once again, and, unknown to himself, fell asleep, and in sleep was racked with nightmares. A tiger was chasing him, his feet stuck to the ground. He desperately tried to escape, but his feet would not move. The tiger was at his back, and he could hear its claws scratch the ground. Scratch, scratch, and then a light thud. Swami tried to open his eyes, but his eyelids would not open, and the nightmare continued. It threatened to continue forever. Swami groaned in despair. With a desperate effort, he opened his eyes. He put his hand out to feel his granny's presence at his side, as was his habit, but he only touched the wooden leg of the bench, and his lonely state came back to him. He sweated with fright. And now, what was this rustling? He moved to the edge of the bench and stared into the darkness. Something was moving down. He lay gazing at it in horror. His end had come. He realized that the devil would presently pull him out and tear him. And so, why should he wait? As it came nearer, he crawled out from under the bench, hugged it with all his might, and used his teeth on it like a mortal weapon. Ayyo! Something has bitten me! Went forth an agonized, thundering cry, and was followed by a heavy tumbling and falling amidst furniture. In a moment, father, cook, and a servant came in, carrying light, and all three of them fell on the burglar, who lay amidst the furniture with a bleeding ankle. Congratulations was showered on Swami next day.
Now, let's revise the lesson. What story did Swami's father read to him? Swami's father read out a newspaper story to him, which described the bravery of a boy who fought off a tiger that he encountered while walking through the jungle. What habit of Swami's did father find disgraceful? Father found Swami's habit of sleeping beside his grandmother disgraceful. Why did Swami find the idea of sleeping in his father's office a frightful proposition? How did he try to avoid the situation? Swami found the idea of sleeping in his father's office a frightful proposition because he had always slept beside his grandmother in the passage, and the idea of sleeping alone left him trembling and awake all night. He tried to avoid the situation by changing the subject in the hope of distracting his father. As the night advanced, Swami felt that something dreadful would happen to him. What did he think would happen? As the night advanced, Swami remembered all the stories of ghosts and devils that he had ever heard in his life and felt faint with the fear that any second he would be carried away by one of them. There was absolute silence in the room, but some noises reached Swami's ears. What were they? Swami heard ordinary sounds through the silence of the night, such as ticking of the clock, rustling of trees, others in the house snoring, and humming of night insects. How did Swami help in preventing the burglary? Late in the night, Swami heard a rustling sound and saw something coming towards him. He was convinced that it was a devil that had come to finish him off. Instead of waiting passively for the end, he attacked it and bit as hard as he could. It turned out to be a burglar. Swami bit his ankle so badly that it bled and he fell down and was soon apprehended when the others came into room after hearing the commotion. Now, we will learn the characters from the story. Let's see about Swami's father. Swami's father believed that with courage, a person could achieve anything, regardless of their size or strength. He felt that a person who has courage but lacked physical strength could achieve more than a person who lacked courage but had the strength of an elephant. Swami disagreed because he wondered how, even if he had all the courage in the world, he could possibly overcome a tiger if it attacked him. Let's see about Swami's mother and grandmother. Swami's mother and grandmother were softer and kinder in their approach to Swami. While they were aware of his fear of the dark and of sleeping alone, they did not stop him from sleeping with his grandmother. Now, let's see something about Swami. After Swami's encounter with the burglar, Swami's mother did not allow his father to risk his life again. However, Swami's father believed in a tougher approach, and he wanted Swami to overcome his fears by sleeping alone. And this small child actually slept alone in father's office. At the end of the story, Swami got applause. Despite his fears, he showed courage and acted appropriately in the moment that counted. Even by his father's definition of courage, Swami proved that his courage to act in urgent circumstances made up for the lack of physical strength as a young boy. Now, this was all about the story. Let's see some of the new words. Disputed, questioned whether something is true and valid. Proposition, proposal. Tenacity, firmness. Tiptoed, walk lightly on the toes. Gesticulations, gestures of hands and face. Apparition, spirit or ghost. Thumb, framed, reassuring, making him feel secure. Racked, deeply troubled. Mortal, causing death. Scout, a reference to the Boy Scouts, which trains young people in practical skills and survival tactics. So we have covered chapter number 1, The Hero. Thank you so much.